All right. Divya, please introduce yourself and tell us where you're telling from. And please tell us a story.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Divya. I'm a designer, design educator and a blogger from Chennai, India. Today I would be telling an original story that I conjured up for this Chennai International Story Festival. It's titled Beat by Beat and this is my first public telling of it. So here goes. Can I start, Eric?
Go ahead.
Geeta walked into a room, took off her dupatta, her bag, and threw them away on the table. She looked at her reflection in the mirror opposite. She looked old, tired, sick, grumpy, frumpy, ugly. And what was the word that her ex-fiancé had used? Ha, undesirable. As she thought she heard these words and sat down on the cot, she could hear her parents discussing in the next room. Her mother's shrilled voice came through. What do you mean to say all her tests are negative? You are the one who took her to the doctor. Can't you see? My daughter is suffering day after day after day. Her father replied, why are you screaming at me? What am I supposed to do? Results are all normal. Doctor doesn't know. I don't know. What do you think I should do? Huh? I can take her to the lab. I can take her to the doctor. What more can I do? You think I'm not worried about our daughter? But then you are not the one who's awake all night and tending to her aches and pains. Can you see how swollen her legs are? Can you see all the red patches on her body? Lata, doctor is saying all that is psychological. And then she's just putting up weight. He's telling her, go for a walk. Walk 3 kilometers a day. And she got irritated and bit his head off. You know, all of this is because of that rascal Dilip. The day my daughter set her eyes on him, that is when everything went to hell. And Lata, let me tell you, this is all your fault. You are the one who brought that alliance. Oh, please, stop pointing your finger at me for everything. You are the one who kept crying to the relatives saying, my daughter is not married, my daughter is not married, my daughter is not married. And I did what any responsible mother will do and found a decent alliance. If it fell apart, what am I supposed to do? I'm the one who's talking to the relatives. Shh. Geeta had heard this conversation over and over and over again for the last few months. And she was irritated. She couldn't take it anymore. She wanted to go away to a world which was peaceful, which was quiet. She lied down on her bed, put a pillow over her head, and forced herself to sleep. She had been single 2 years back, and it was a whole different world. Then she met Dilip. He was smart, well-read, could hold a decent conversation. So much better than all the other dum-dums her parents had paraded before her. And as any mature adult, she knew that love and marriage required work, required compromise. Soon they started dating and kind of liked each other. They both got jobs in Bangalore and wanted to move in together to see if their relationship will work. Needless to say, the Indian parents could not tolerate it. Amidst her doubts, Geeta said yes to a very loud, very public engagement ceremony. Weeks passed, and the relationship fell apart rather quickly. Dilip found a job in Mumbai, moved away. And Geeta continued to stay in the house, which she had lovingly put together. She continued to go to work. After all, what self-respecting woman in her 30s who wanted a career would give up a job over a breakup? Unfortunately for her, in all this chaos, she had forgotten the deadline for a project. Her client was super irritated and she was pushed to do administrative tasks. In the meanwhile, Dilip found another girl and happily posted the news of his engagement and impending marriage on social media. Geeta's friends called her. Oh my God, what happened? You guys were so cute together. You guys were totes the couple scouts. She was neither totes nor had couple scouts. Her relatives were particularly nasty and said, "Whoa, she cannot even keep one man. What is this? If you give the milk away for free, who will buy the cow?" Which ended up with her mother sobbing. It got so bad, she fell so sick that one day she fainted in the office. Her boss, in no uncertain terms, said, "Please take a break. You apply to us 6 months to 1 year from now, and we will consider you for the position." Absolutely annoyed more than anything, Geeta packed up her bags, moved back to her parents' place in Chennai. It had been 6 months. She knew she was battling depression, but psychotherapy did not help. Talking did not help. She did not want to take meds. Thinking about all these things, she finally forced herself to sleep and was rather rudely awoken by a king, reverse horn of the next house. Annoying as it was a wake-up call. She realized that she could be ugly, she could be fat, but she didn't want to be useless. If nothing, she would at least clean the house that day. She woke up, drank some tea, and went rummaging in the cupboard to sort it out. And she came across something that she had seen in her childhood. Opening, she found a letter written in Tamil from her grandmother. She took it to her mother and asked, "Amma, what is this?" Her mother gave it one glance and said, "Yo, that is from your party. Where did you find that?" "No, Amma, it's got like some, something inside and it looks nice. And there is also a letter that belonged to your party. You know what? She would pretend to sit in one corner and pray. It has those beads. See, your grandmother was a nice woman, a kind woman, but she never gave me anything. And in the end, I thought she will at least give me some precious thing, some gold, some ruby, some diamond, nothing. She gave me one strand of glass beads, not even spatikam, not even rudraksham. But Amma, something is written in the letter. No, I can't read party's handwriting. Can you please read?" Lata read that letter. Translated, it said, "Dear Lata, I'm giving you something that I cherish the most in my life. I was so sad the day that I had to quit school and was forced into marriage. A gypsy came home and gave me these strand of beads. And it amused me for some time that I forgot my pain. Later, I wore it when I went to the movies with my husband. And it was a reminder of such happy times. And later in my life, whenever I had marital problems, I would think of those happy memories. Years passed by. My sons got married and you daughter-in-laws came home. But I didn't want to do the mistake that my mother-in-law did and interfere with your family troubles. So I would quietly take that necklace, go sit in the corner and pretend to count and pray. Soon the fake meditation gave way to real meditation and I found my solace. The counting helped with my arthritis, helped with the water retention in my joints. And I spent my last years rather painlessly. Of all my daughter-in-laws, you are the most favorite. So I am giving this to you. I hope you would cherish it and one day pass it on to Geeta." Lata read this and was teary-eyed because she had just dissed her mother-in-law minutes ago. She took it out of the box. And to her horror, it just snapped and the beads rolled away. Geeta went hurrying after them and took them in her hands and said, "Amma, see, I got all of them. Do you think we should string them together? After all, they are from party." Lata said, of course. But do you know how to do it? Geeta said, Mama, you can find anything on YouTube these days. I'm sure I will find a tutorial. And Lata saw something on Geeta's first face for the first time in 6 months, a glimmer of a smile. Geeta quickly started hunting for tutorials. Hours, days, weeks, she spent going through several websites, blog sites, met a lot of people who had like-minded interests. She started ordering supplies and they came in all sorts of packages, both big and small, to her house. Her father was amused. What is going on? He asked. She found a bead shop a few streets away and went there and found that she had found the Aladdin scale. Oh my God, what beads, what color? Red, blue, green, yellow, orange. She bought them all, spending quite a lot of money. She came home, started to work on them for weeks, months at a stretch, until she made beautiful products, necklace, bracelets, earrings. And one day she spread them all out, sat and looked at each one of them, admiring them for how beautiful they are. She took them one by one, put them on, and saw that how well they fell on the body. Didn't it look beautiful? Oh no, it was pretty great. It was pretty fabulous. It wasn't the piece that was fabulous, she realized. She looked beautiful as well. And as she kept admiring herself in the mirror, her mother walked past. What are you doing sitting here like a gypsy? She asked. Amma, see all those beads that I bought? I made them into jewelry and I want to sell them. I'm going to start this brand called Bead by Bead. There's this beautiful top that I bought in Bangalore just before I left. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put makeup. Can you please help me take pictures of it for social media? Let's do something together we haven't done in a while, she asked her mom. The next few hours were spent with a mother and daughter, both arguing and smiling over how best to take pictures. She showed everything to her father, who said, Oh, Pete, this is all so beautiful. I didn't know you could make such lovely males. Geeta started her pitch. Now, believe me, she didn't become a financial success overnight. She didn't become rich. Her health problems did not get solved. But she found a community of people whom she had never met, who loved and supported her. Bead by bead, she learned to make a necklace. Bead by bead, she learned the trade. Bead by bead, she found a way to rejoin society. Bead by bead, she found a community. Bead by bead, she found a way to stay useful. Bead by bead, she made herself look beautiful. And bead by bead, she realized that she could be as happy as she wanted to be. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful. So that is a story you composed?
Yes.
Wow. Where did it come from? Is it tell us about the process by which you composed it.
I am a jewelry designer. I work a lot with beads, and I found them very therapeutic in my life. So some of the instances from the story are from my life. Some of it is completely fictional. So, and as I was thinking about when I first got your mail regarding a storytelling workshop, which was towards healing, I felt that I had to talk about the healing power of jewelry and the healing power of beads. And that is how I came up with this story.
May I?
Yes, go ahead.
I loved your story, Divya. But only thing my suggestion, I thought, instead of the bead that her grandmother left, the necklace, maybe they could have found the beads, put it back together, and maybe she could have started meditating with those beads. And perhaps that gave her the thought that this was so meditative that perhaps she could help others making similar change. I don't know, my thought process was going towards that side. So this whole ending, especially the bead to bead, just sort of the whole, what shall I say, modulation went from high to low to low to low. And so it brought that beautiful ending to your story. Loved it. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I?
Hi,
Yes.
Seema.
Hi, Divya. I'm absolutely enchanted by your story. You are a wonderful story writer as well as teller, and I'll always remember beat by beat. So to me, it seemed with your story, beat by beat, you wove us, in that what you made. So we are all collected and connected to your story now, beat by beat.
Thank you.
It's
I'd like
beautiful,
to.
enchanting.
Yeah, can I say something, Divya? This is
Yes, please.
Vandana here. My video is not on. So, I mean, really, really enjoyable. And it's got that flavor of Tamil. I think that's where it becomes so natural because it comes so naturally to you, you know. And frankly speaking, I've already mentioned it. I've put it down as well. I mean, this bead by bead, you wove a beautiful beauty. Beautiful. So really, really enjoyable. Really enjoyable. And of course, there are lots and lots to learn from it. And like Renu was saying, I was also thinking that, she'd probably start meditating on those beads. I mean, that's what I was thinking too. But you really changed the whole narrative and really enjoyable. Very, very nice. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. I thought about the meditative aspect of it, but for me, I think that's where the personal flavor comes in. For me, working with it, being useful, starting a trade, helping other women feel beautiful, that by itself had a very meditative quality to it. And I guess that's where the Divya overpowered Geeta.
I know. And it's the generational gap, remember, Divya? You're the younger one. So your take on it has been entirely different. Beautiful. Really. Thank you.
And thank you to Eric for giving me this opportunity.
Very welcome.
And you're wearing beautiful beads as it is, Divya. Wonderful telling.
இங்க என்ன பண்ணோத்த ஹேம் ஒரு செகண்ட் இங்க என்ன பண்ணோம்
Okay. Thank you very much.